Hi everyone, in today's video I will show you how to work with files and folders in PowerShell. So, in this video you will learn how to manage files and directories in PowerShell, and we will use commandlets such like Get-ChildItem, New-Item, Copy-Item, Move-Item and Remove-Item. So, these are the basics of PowerShell that I think everyone should know. So, let's start with listing files and folders. We can use this first command that I said. It is Get-ChildItem. So, maybe we will create a simple function because I recorded a video about the functions, so we can train that function show and files. We will use the function in order to show our files, the files from our directory. And now we will use Get-ChildItem, and now we will specify the path. So we will do path and dot. What does it mean? Dot means current directory. You can just use this Get-ChildItem without the path. It will also mean the current directory, but I think specifying this directly is better. So we can close that. And now what we can do? We can do show and files, and we will print all files from our directory that we are currently in. That means for me it is this PowerShell folder. Now, as I said before, you can use just Get-ChildItem without the path. In that case, it will by default print the current directory. So as you can see, we are getting the same output. Now, we can do the recursive listing. What is the recursive listing? It will also print the subdirectories. So Get-ChildItem, and now again we will specify the path, and now we will add the option recurse. What we are doing, as you can see, we are also printing the subdirectory. Why? Because we have file.txt, file2.txt, and we have this folder. Inside of this folder, as you can see here, is the path. We have the file with the name of test.txt, and this is why we are printing it right there. So, this is how it works. We can filter by type. So, if you want to print just the files, you can do Get-ChildItem with the path and dot and the file. So if you are going to specify the file option, you are just printing the files. As you can see, only file and file2. You can specify the directories, so Get-ChildItem with the path again, and you can add the option directory like this. And as you can see, in that case, we are only printing this folder from there. Now, we can move to creating files and folders, I think. So, how to create a folder? We can do it in two ways, I think. I will show you the recommended, I think, and the second one later. So we can use the standard new item commandlet from the PowerShell. Then we have to specify the path, or we don't have to. If you are not going to specify the path, the folder will be created in your current directory. But as I said before, this dot means current directory, so we are creating this here. Then we have to use the name. So maybe not use, but specify the name. So test and folder, for example. And then it's very important that you have to specify the item type, because if you are not going to specify the item type, you are going to create a file by default, I think. And now you have to specify the item type, which will be directory. I can press enter, and as you can see, in the PowerShell folder we have the test folder right there, and I can print that with Get-ChildItem. We have two other options, I think. to replace that Get-ChildItem. Get-ChildItem is the built-in commandlet for PowerShell, but you have two aliases to this command. So you can also use dir. Dir is the alias to the cmd to command prompt from Windows, I think. And you have one more, which is L and S. This is the alias for the Linux command that lists everything what is in your current directory. So if we are talking about Linux, we have one more option to create a folder, which looks almost the same as in Linux, or the same. So you can use just mkdir, and you can specify the name of the folder. So for example, for the folder 2. So you can also do something like this. It is not in the PowerShell syntax, but it also works. As you can see, we created a folder 2. So this is how it works. In order to create a file, we can do something like this. Again, we can use new item. We can specify the path. And now we can use. We have to specify the name of our file. So, for example, file 3, because I think we have 2, and then we can use item type and file. Now we created file.txt. We can check if we have to specify the item type. As you can see, it is not the error because of the not the item type option, because we created the same file with the name that already exists. But I can do something like this, and as you can see, in terms of files, you don't have to specify the file type because it by default will create a file.txt. We can check if the touch is working if you are talking about Linux. So touch, for example, file5.txt. As you can see, it is not working. So mkdir for folders is working, but touch for files is not working. So now, how can we copy files and folders? First of all, how to copy files. So maybe I will write something to one file. So notepad, for example, file.txt. We will open that in the notepad, and now we will create something. This is a file. I will save that, and now we will copy that file into another file, and we will see if the text inside is the same in this new file. So let's copy. So in order to copy something, we are using Copy-Item. Then you have to specify the path to the file that you are copying. So in that case, this is that file.txt. And then you have to specify the destination, which will be, for example, copy.txt. You can copy that into the folder, for example, but I will copy that into another file to show you that it is working. So as you can see, now I have this copy.txt file, and as you can see, the sizes are the same. So if I will now edit copy.txt file, as you can see, we have this text inside, so everything is working fine. How can we copy a folder? So we can do the same thing, but we can add one more option. So let's create one more folder, although we don't have to, because we have this folder 2. So inside of folder 2, I think I will check. Folder 2 is empty, and inside of this folder we have a file. So we will copy. We will do something like that. So copy, and now path. Of course, Copy-Item, and the path, and we will copy folder, the normal folder, into the, for example, backup folder. And now we will use the option recursive. What does it mean? That means that we are copying everything also what is inside. So like this. And now we will list that. As you can see, we have this backup folder, and inside of this backup folder, maybe I will clear that. Inside of this backup folder, we have test.txt file, so everything is working fine. Now, how to move item? It is also very easy. It looks almost the same as in the copying. So move and item, and we can move, for example, that copy.txt, copy.txt, and now into destination of moved.txt, for example, like this. And what we are doing, we basically don't have this copy.txt, and we only have the move.txt, because we need to understand how does it work. When you are copying something, you are creating another file that looks the same. If you are moving something into the new file, you are basically deleting that file and creating the new file with the new name. So this is how it works. And now you of course can do the same with the directories. So maybe I will not show that. I'm not going to show that because I think this is clear. And now how to delete file or folders. So in order to remove a file, you have to do something like this. So remove item, and for example, file.txt, I will press enter, I will leave that. As you can see, I don't have file.txt. Now, how to remove a folder? We can remove the folder in the same way. So, remove and item, and for example, you can specify the path, and it will be the folder like this, and I will press enter. As you can see, now we have to confirm that the item and this directory have children, and the recurse parameter was not specified. If you want to continue, all children will be removed with the item. Are you sure you want to do it, or we want to continue? Yes, we are sure. And now this is happening because inside of this folder we have the file. So how to remove it directly without this confirmation? You have to use, so as you can see, my folder disappeared, but in backup folder I also have a file. I will show you that. So I can go back, I will go into backup folder. As you can see, here we have the file, so we will go back. I will clear that, I will leave that again, and we will do something like this. So remove item, and now backup folder, like this. You can use it, but you don't have to use these backslashes when we are in the current directory. And now we will add the option. And if we are in the current directory, you can use path, but you don't have to. I will use it maybe, and we'll add the option recurse like this. I will press enter, and as you can see, we don't have to confirm anything, and my folder with the name of backup folder disappeared. You can also check before the deletion. So we have the folder 2, for example. You can use it, so I will clear that. You can use, for example, the path with the folder 2, and you can add next to the recurse option something what we call WhatIf. What will happen? It shows what will happen, and we are not actually performing the deletion. So as you can see, when you are going to use this command, what will happen? what if performing the operation remove directory on target and something like this. So you can check if you are not sure with this what if option. And this is basically all in this video. This is how you can work with files and folders in PowerShell. If you found this video helpful, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and I hope to see you in the next videos.